because I feel like a lot of y'all don't understand really what's going on. So once again, so I set this up for you. This is a backstory of Wilder basically rising into his stardom when we're talking about numbers. Now let's talking about massive viewers he generates. How about we go into there, right? So let's go back to Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz 1. 1.1 million viewers, highest rated fight in 3 years according to ratings released Tuesday by Nielsen Media Research. Wilder's compelling comeback victory over Luis Ortiz drew a peak audience of 1.2 million viewers and average 1.1. Very impressive for that time. As we know now, as a heavyweight champion, me personally, I would expect bigger numbers, but you got to remember he would do bigger numbers now. This was before the Fury fight. This is kind of when he started kind of tiptoeing his way onto that stardom, and the Fury one is what blew him up. But that's a good number. But if you watched any of my other videos when I talk about numbers, you heard Terrence Crawford in his last fight. He just averaged almost like 1.3 million, and that was on ESPN Plus. Jermell Charlo, I haven't done a video about that, but I'll talk about it a little bit. I think he just averaged about like 2.3 million versus Tony Harrison. Obviously, part of that had to do with Tony Harrison as well. So obviously you would want your heavyweight most likely to average a little more viewers than the smaller weight fighters if you feel like he's a star, because that's what Anthony Joshua does, and that's not me saying my opinion. We're gonna go into that, okay? So you guys go ahead and take what you want from that, but I'm letting you guys know Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, 1.1 million viewers. It was the highest rated at the time in 3 years, averaged 1.1 million. Okay. So let's dive a little bit more deeper into the numbers, can we? Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. This is the first fight that they had. Did 403,000 pay-per-view buys on Sky Box Office. That's the first fight. That's the first fight. That's the first fight. Do I have to say more? I should just end the video right here. I should just end the video. That's the first fight. Okay, let's move on. Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz rematch did massive numbers for DAZN. And I'm just reading these, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. I'm not telling you my sources. This is coming from Forbes.com, okay? This is written by a man named Brian Mazik. Shout out to you, Brian. So, Saturday's heavyweight championship bout between the United Kingdom's Anthony Joshua and the United States Andy Ruiz was a smash success for DAZN. According to the Athletics' Mike Coppinger, the fight was viewed by 1.8 million across 9 markets, so it averaged 1.8. Obviously, Wilder versus Luis Ortiz averaged 1.1, peaked at 1.2, and it generated close to 200,000 new subscribers to the streaming service. So that's the second rematch fight. So you could compare new subscribers in a sense to pay-per-view numbers, but it's not the same, right? What I need to do is I need to look up the pay-per-view numbers for the Sky Sports box office so you can get an idea. And then obviously you got to remember the pay-per-views for over in the UK, they are cheaper, so you got to keep that in mind too. Let's look at the numbers that Ruiz Joshua 2 did pay-per-view wise on Sky Sports. All right, so look, this is reported December 13th, so not too long ago, maybe about 10 to 11 days ago, something about that. So final pay-per-view figures for Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Anthony Joshua 2 are expected to be confirmed next week following last weekend's clash, and I'll make sure I see if I can get it confirmed. The British Broadcasters Audience Research, this comes from worldboxingnews.net, y'all. The British Broadcasters Audience Research Board usually takes 2 weeks to reveal the numbers, with Ruiz vs. Joshua 2 firmly on course to be a success. Initial estimates believe the Saudi Arabia event has done enough to overtake the previous record set by Joshua's victory over Vladimir Klitschko. The Wembley battle in 2017 garnered just over 1.5 million UK buys. That was in 2017 when he fought Klitschko. With Ruiz vs. Joshua 2 expected to beat that despite a price tag of £24.95. Joshua reclaimed his title. Okay, so I'm not even gonna go into that. So basically, they're suggesting that there's a big possibility that Ruiz vs. Joshua 2 is going to surpass 1.5 million UK buys for this fight. Obviously, controversy. People love controversy, right? people love chaos, and that's basically what this whole fight was. So part of it was because Joshua lost, and they wanted to see if he would be beaten again. That would be done. Okay. So, but at the end of the day, the fact that he was like, to be 100% real with you, everything's in the moment. Everything's based off of what's kind of going on, the predicament, right? But if we're looking at numbers, and the numbers I'm showing you, all it does is strengthen the argument that Joshua is going to be in the playing field where he is just more powerful. He's more of a star when it comes to boxing. And when I say more powerful in business aspect, because his brand is bigger. So he has more of an argument to demand more money than Wilder, right? So okay, so keep this in mind. Fox Sports pay-per-view price is $74.99 in comparison to a $24.95 cost. Deontay Wilder versus Ortiz 2, that was $74.99. That's $75 basically. While if you were to purchase it in the US, that would be while Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz pay-per-view was essentially $33 if you were to purchase it from the US, right? And that's through Sky Sports box office numbers, okay? So that is a substantial difference, right? It's a $40 difference. So you guys have to keep that in mind. If we're talking about a Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz 2 doing essentially 275,000 pay-per-view buys, that's not a bad number, especially for the price. And then now you want to just factor in Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2. See, if we were talking about Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 1, we'd have a closer battle, right? Because he did 403,000. But at the same time, if you were going to compete, that's a false narrative. That's a false. I can't compare those two because those aren't the same time period. If I was going to compare anything, I would have to compare Wilder versus Luis Ortiz 1, where they peaked at about 1.2 million viewers. Anthony Joshua, his peaked at 1.8 million viewers, right? So even though he did get 403,000 pay-per-view buys, which in my opinion, if we're talking about the price difference, I think that's very similar to the price difference. Like if it was getting sold, this is my opinion, if it was getting sold the same amount Deontay Wilder's pay-per-views were getting sold, I believe that he would get around probably about like 250,000 for that fight, for the first fight, maybe 300,000. But since it was at the price it was at, you got the 400,000. That's my opinion, right? That's just how it seems when you kind of look at it, though. But anyways, if y'all disagree, let me know. If that's, I might be creating a false narrative saying that, but that's, it is what it is. So you have to compare those two at the time that it was being compared, right? So you would have to compare the 1.8 million peak views for the first fight of Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, and then also you would have to compare Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz 1, which it was actually close. The numbers are close, but Anthony Joshua still edges them out. Then we go to the second fights, right? Luis Ortiz 2 versus Wilder. 275,000 pay-per-view buys. Also, the arena did not sell out. I think it only filled out, I believe, if I remember what it said, it only filled out about 50% of the stadium. Let me give that to you real quick so I'm not giving you anything that's not factual. So 704,000 seats were sold from capacity of 16,000. So that's actually less than 50% of the stadium being filled. No one really knows ever if these numbers are inflated too, or if they're not. But this is all we can really go off of. It's the best thing we can go off of. Other than that, you have emotional people talking and giving out their opinion without any fact space behind it. And then what's been being reported for Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 is over 1.6 million, 1.7 million pay-per-view buys. So as of now, that's two specific examples when it comes to drawing power that I have presented to you that is hard to argue that Wilder is in the driving seat, or Wilder actually deserves a 50-50 split, because he doesn't. We've heard Eddie Hearn recently say, I'll give him a 50-50 split, but I don't believe that. I think that's all talk. The same way Wilder versus Joshua is not going to happen anytime soon. The same way we see Joshua's probably going to end up having to drop one of his belts, which I called. I'm going to make a video about that because I called. That deserved a different video. I told you. No one listened to me because I knew he wasn't going to want to defend both of his mandatories. because both of those mandatories don't make sense. And I'm not gonna get into that. We're gonna stay on topic. Actually, I'm gonna end this video soon. So this is basically part 3 to the whole AJ A side, B side. I'll probably keep doing this until they actually fight. And then in the end, you know what I'm saying, we end up finding who is A side, because we'll find out the purses and things like that. And if I'm wrong, I'll take my L like a man. And if I get a W, I'm gonna take my W like a motherfucking asshole. I'm gonna rub it in your face. But I hope you guys were able to keep up with all this. It was a lot of numbers, and I know a lot of you boxing guys, especially you boxing hardcore fans, y'all don't like numbers. Y'all just like to see people get beat the fuck up. But I like the numbers too. I like the business when it comes to that. So remember, these are different videos. These videos deal with straight. Obviously, I'll give my opinion certain times. I always let you know when my opinion is being presented. But at the end of the day, these are fact based. I have articles to support everything I'm talking about. I have 1 million tabs up right now. I already told you guys I'm gonna get to the point where you're gonna see what I'm seeing, so you don't think I'm actually just talking shit. Oh, you got 1 million tabs up, do you, nigga? I got 1 million tabs up. I got all this shit up. All these numbers are legit. We can talk about it. There's gonna be another video about it. So if y'all don't believe it, I don't care. Alright, man. Because sometimes it's more about these motherfuckers being in the ring going crazy. You know what I'm saying? These people these warriors deserve to be compensated correctly. And at the end of the day, emotions don't come into business. Numbers do. And the numbers show, once again, AJ is the A side, Deontay Wilder is the B side. And if y'all don't like it, talk to the numbers. Real quick, I'm going to shout out all of my sources. I was on the sun.co.uk, great site to be. Metro.co.uk, great site as well. Sportingnews.com, it's a great site. I was on reddit.com as well. Reddit, so just so you guys specifically know, I usually don't go to Reddit, but it showed, this is one of the quickest pull-ups for me to get the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. first fight pay-per-view buys for Sky Sports box office. If you guys don't trust in that in that particular source, that's fine. I'll give you guys another one, because this is the only information that I pulled up from Reddit was the pay-per-view numbers for the first fight for Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. So what I'm going to do for you guys, just in case you don't like that. Alright, so the only other here we go. Okay. Alright, so if you guys don't believe in the Reddit source that I gave when it came to the first fight, you guys could go ahead and check out BoxingScene.com. Boxing Scene also reported the number of being, it says here, it's less specific, 400K, well, you have 403,000 from Reddit. So just in case, let me get a little closer so you guys can hear me. In case you guys were down in the Reddit source, check out BoxingScene.com as well. For that, they're reporting 400,000 for the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz fight. So you guys know. And then last but not least, Boxing News 24. I always go to Boxing News 24. I love Boxing News 24. I don't always like how they're a little bit biased when it comes to the bulk of their reports, but when it comes to the numbers and the facts, man, a lot of things I predicted have come true strictly off of the numbers I've gotten from Boxing News 24. So any of you guys thinking I'm talking all this shit just to try and rile something up, I'm not trying to start a fight. I'm not trying to start any type of emotional type disagreements or rivalries or battles. That's not what this is about. We're just talking about the facts, just so you guys know. So when it does happen, there's no reason to argue about it. There's no reason for you to say this is that. He didn't get the money because of this. They're cheated. Blah blah blah. All the no. This is business, and business has to do with numbers, even when it comes to a sport like boxing. And that's all it comes down to, people. That's it, and that's what I'm here for. That's all I'm here for. Obviously, if you disagree with me, comment below. We can talk about it below. Remember, stay intellectual about it. Stay respectful about it. I love disagreements. I love conversations. But I do not love stupidity, so don't come in the comment section with stupidity. Please support the channel, subscribe, like the content. Respect.
The way you see me.